Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cash Game World Championship. I'm your host, Johan Merlo, and today I'm going to be joined by RichyLucky to commentate and talk about some of the hands that we're going to be seeing here. This is day 9. How's it going, Richie?
Going good. Excited to see this.
Have you seen already some interesting hands today?
No, not yet. I just started watching this. I was like not paying too much attention yet, so until now.
Okay. It seems like, yeah, we've got 2 tables running with 5 players each. Kevin, how do you say his last name? Is it Paquet or Pack?
I don't know. I just said Kevin Paquet because it sounds fun.
Yeah, but like
But
like there is the accent, like the A, right, on the E on his name. I think when I see it somewhere, so that's why I always say it like that. But I feel like French pronunciation is always going to be different. So
yeah.
Kevin Paquet, Pepe Bergomi, Joe Adams, Daniel Vasilev, and Linus.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Daniel just joined.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonder if
Some
he's
nice.
streaming.
I don't think so. I checked earlier. I didn't see him live, but maybe it just went live or something. Do you feel like it's very insightful if you watch a player like Daniel's point of view, but he doesn't do commentary?
Um, what if you see his point? Do you see his cards?
Yeah, I guess like you can kind of think about like his thought process and stuff, but in comparison with him potentially giving commentary, I guess that would be the plus, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you can see his cards, I think that's very insightful. I would
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
But yeah, thought process is obviously, well, to me at least, I think it's king. And yeah, like even me streaming, like oftentimes I don't say a lot when I stream, and I'm always like so hesitant to share thought processes in hands because some thought processes are just very exploitable.
Yeah, and you play in a pool where people would for sure pick up on it if they watch you.
Yeah, or at least
Regularly.
maybe on like stars.com, maybe less so on GG, but still, I'm trying to make a habit of it to like not say too much, you know. But yeah,
Do you think maybe that's why there's more tournament streams? Is because like in tournaments, obviously you're not gonna run too much into the same players, so it's like not as bad, I guess, if somebody finds something on you.
yeah, I guess so. I guess that's right. Yeah. You play tournaments at all?
A little bit here and there, but mostly cash. I prefer cash. Like just the occasional tournament can be fun.
Yeah.
Although, like obviously, if you don't do well in tournaments, it's always so irritating, and you can't wait to go back to cash. I guess.
Yes, exactly.
You? How many tournaments you play?
um, not a lot. Just I don't know. Maybe I'll play a few tournaments every month, but yeah, not much other than that.
But do you play live also, or just online?
I play I played a little bit of live as well. I went to Vegas. Oh, all in Linus and Danielle on second table. Oh,
He's king and says king.
oh my! Almost hit the heart.
Yeah, that was scary for a second. Actually, I have the 4 color deck yet. I thought that was the flush.
You don't have the 4 color deck?
No, because I'm on the road right now, so I'm streaming with my laptop.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't have that set just yet, but I will fix it. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
important, right? You can see so much better.
yeah. I mean, I played live in Vegas, and then aside from that, basically not much at all. Actually, a couple times in Europe, like some live stops, but nothing crazy. How about you? You play live?
Yeah, I've had quite a few trips to Vegas. Then I played mostly cash, a little bit of tournaments. It's fun, but it's very slow. Like if you are playing online, especially if you play like fast tables, I mean, you're like falling asleep when you play live. But I guess you do get to watch every hand, every bet sizing, try to pick up on tells. Although like for me, that's quite hard. So it's like it's for sure different. It's hard to it's hard to even like really compare the two because it's almost two entirely different things in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any live like near where you live?
Not for like lots of money, like smaller stakes live.
Yeah, that's not as interesting for you.
Not really. I guess like I hate variance, and like I feel like live has way more variance than online. So if the stakes aren't high enough, I don't want to play. And if the stakes are high enough, then I don't want to play either, because then the variance is also higher. Like
it's lose.
So, yeah.
We see a hand, Joe Adams, who, by the way, voiced interest in potentially coming on for some commentary, but he's playing now, so he's hopping on, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, maybe
button.
You saw Sea Llama the other day?
Yeah. This guy's
yesterday.
Yeah. I saw some clip of it. I didn't see the full stream. Did you watched?
Yeah, he was just hopping in call with Matt Marinelli, just talking shit while playing.
Yeah, I saw the 7-2.
Yeah.
That was crazy. So we see an open, Joe Adams on the button, Linus defense big blind, and check raise on king, queen 4, 2 clubs, 4 of spades on the turn, he checks. No action on Joe Adams. You know precisely on this type of board, like everything big blind will raise, like the strong flushes, maybe open-ender and stuff. Can you picture it like very easily when that happens?
I can picture the combos that he can pick, but it's hard for me to picture, how heavy his range is in like each category.
Okay.
So like he probably has to raise some like weird hands at some frequency, and then it's just hard to tell how often for me. But I think he could raise like any flush draw though. It's just like, if he's too heavy in like nut flush draws, I think that would be a bit exploitable. If he's too heavy in like weak flush draws, that's also exploitable.
How would you exploit it?
Yeah. That's a good question. Let's see. If he always check raises really strong nut flush draws and value, and that's it, then his range is just like way too strong, so you can overfold. Depending on the raise size, you could even fold flush draws. Let's say if that's his range, but
yeah,
there's so many different ways the range could be constructed. That it's probably not a good play to fold flush draw in practice, but yeah.
Then if somebody does it too much with like weaker holdings, like weaker flush draws, I guess you start calling more.
If somebody what? Sorry.
If somebody you said like the weaker flush draw, somebody like check raises too much, then you can start calling more.
Yeah, or you could even like if they have way too much like weak flush draws, then you could just re-raise your stronger flush draws as well. I guess. But there's a lot of exploits, I guess, that
it's very hard for me to see them, so that's why I'm counting on you to hopefully explain me some.
Well, I don't consider myself the best player in the world or the best, So I'm really just guessing in those spots.
Bro, you play No Limit 200. Give yourself some credit. A friend of mine told me if you can play No Limit 200 and you're winning, you can sit at literally any table live and you will be plus EV.
Maybe. Although I do think live win rates are just not as high as everybody makes it seem to be. Like, I agree it's softer, but I don't know. It's just the win rates I hear are wild compared to my experience in live poker. It's like, yeah, it's softer, but it's not like you can expect a 20 BB win rate in all these games. It's like you have a bunch of like decent regulars and then a couple of recreationals. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you heard like some extreme examples of people that play in like very soft game or something, or was it?
Of course. I don't even know. Like, it's just hearing from other people some other people, I've never heard anybody say like a solid sample number, you know, like, oh, this person has had this hourly over the course of 3 years or something at this game. But like, I don't know. It's just, I've never felt that even playing like 500 NL live in like a typical casino. I'm not, obviously if you're in a really, really soft game, then you could have crazy win rates, but I've never ever felt that experience where I'm like, yeah, I have 20 BB in this 500 NL game, or like,
Yeah.
or even like 10 BB. Like 10 BB would be like the high end of what I would feel like I would have in like a game like that. So it's like, just it's not my experience.
Yeah, for sure.
At least.
Got a hand developing here between Beppe, Bergomi, and this. Flush completes on the river. A bit pot. Keep it simple.
It's deep.
Yeah.
I heard someone say that Beppe is like the more, I don't know, like robotic player or like less creative player. I think Matt or Llama said that.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think about that? Have you?
First of all, I haven't seen too much of him, and even if he was, I think I'd be the last person that would be able to figure it. So, supposedly in those games, that's not really supposed to be a bad thing, right?
I don't think it's a bad thing, but like, you know, if you have some players that are just like always doing weird stuff, and you have one player just always seems to be doing the exact same thing, it's like it's a bit of a different style. I don't know if I noticed that about Beppe specifically, but just interesting.
He seems to be betting pot a lot. We see him on the other table now doing it as well. He's just pressing that one button, keeping it easy. Let's see, 5.4. Back to him.
This is Todd on call. Grab Fizz in my chat.
Thinking. If you want to review a hand, by the way, I have the replay open. We can do that too after. Okay, this is not pot. He jams for 21k. And Joe Adams has almost 14,000, and there's 5.4 in the pot. This is a bluff or nuts jam, right?
Is it a show table? It's a show table. Yeah, okay. He did have the nuts. Yeah.
When somebody jams like this, it's a bluff or nuts only, right? Like overbets.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pull up the replay and just see how it is. Are you streaming it in Discord? I think it's easier if I just bring it up here as well. But if you want to show it on stream, and then
I am as well. Yeah.
Okay. So like Beppe opens, Joe calls the small blind, and then pots the flop, and he pots the turn. So yeah, I don't know if he'd have a hand like ace king here. The 10 is not great for Beppe. And then for 2.5x pot, I feel like he has to have kind of like a 10 or better.
Yeah.
But maybe ace king, because like there could be an idea of like a lot of 10x fold by the turn. But then it's like 10x of diamonds is still there, and 10x of diamonds is going to be the hand that calls the most. And ace x of diamonds. So I would guess a 10 or better for this kind of sizing.
How come he keeps doing this where he bets the size of pots? Because if you look up at solutions, you almost never have that play, or like super low frequency usually, right? So is it like his whole strategy? Has he somehow like found a way to construct the ranges where he can do this with various hands, or like, what's the reasoning, would you think, behind it?
Yeah, I think it's a good question because like some players might just simplify their strategy to just one size. I don't know if I would say if Matt or Llama, whichever one said it, if they're right that he's more like of a robotic player, then he probably just does like a one sizing strat in every spot or in most spots. And then so I would say even though the pot size bet might not be used, right, in a sim,
Yeah.
if you were to resolve the sim for a pot size bet, it probably wouldn't lose much EV at all. As long as you play with the correct range. So he could just be working. That could just be him working with that size, and he's found that it's still a good size, even though like a solver might not choose it if it had multiple sizes.
I guess it might make it very awkward for someone that hasn't played against this before. Then they have to start looking up at answers against this in particular, as they have to adjust. Or maybe, I guess they might be good enough that they might pretty much already know kind of how to react to it. We had a hand with Daniel Vasilev at the same table where he called 4-bet. It was Pepe Bergomi raise, Joe Adams 3-bets on the button, and then called 4-bet in a small blind for 2K. And Joe Adams called on the button. King 8-8, bet quarter, call. 4 of spades, bet thirds. Bit less than call, and then river 4. So king 8-8, 4-4 with the spades coming in. And Daniel jammed his last 5.5k, 10k. Joe Adams folded. This is show table. We saw that it was ace king. What do you think of this one?
Strong, good hand, I think.
Straightforward.
Hold on. Yeah, the call. It's just standard, I would say. Yeah. What do you think about it? It's like the first thing.
Yeah. For me, it seems okay. I'm just curious, like, what do you hope to get called by here, other than somehow another king, I guess? Or like, what are your bluffs even? Is it like just somehow one spades that, like ace of spades?
Yeah, so like ace queen offsuit, ace queen suited even, and probably have to have a hand like ace queen, ace 10, ace jack suited, jack queen suited. There's a few hands like that have to also mix in pre-flop. So pretty much all those hands can bluff, in this spot.
And if you're Joe Adams here, so like, do you have any bluff catchers that come to mind, or like, what are you calling with?
I mean, funny enough, Joe Adams probably can have ace king a lot. So, oh, sorry, I'll show. Okay, yeah, Joe Adams can have ace king a lot, I think.
King queen suited,
and then king queen, king jack, maybe king 10. And then by the time it gets to the river, I'm not sure if a king just simply has to call. What?
Yeah.
Don't need a spade to bluff here. Yeah, I agree. Mr. Builderman in chat with the insights.
If he has queens, he's just jamming against the cold 4-bet, or do you think he might call sometimes and then he might call 2 barrels?
With ace king? Or sorry, with what? Oh, with queens. Yeah, I think he'll call the cold 4-bet a decent amount. And then I don't know if he'll call river. What do you think? Do you think that a king is indifferent, Builderman, on the river versus jam? For Joe Adams. So Daniil jams here for half pot. Do you think he has to call every king?
Are you asking me or a viewer?
I was asking a viewer. Mr. Builderman is in chat. Do you know who Mr. Builderman is?
I don't think so. No, who is he?
He's basically like a sicko volume player who played at 1K for like 10 years. And he's like he's friends with like Linus and 464 and all them.
Nice.
And pure call, yeah. So he says pure call. He thinks pure call King X.
Okay.
Um,
But it's not that many kings, right?
there could be like. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah, like when you don't 3-bet and then call the cold 4-bet with that many kings. It's like ace king.
I think
queen,
every
king, jack,
suited
king,
king kind of has to call. So like
Really?
king, queen, king, jack, king 10 suited kind of have to call. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, I meant like below that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So I think basically it's like you have to call with your pocket pairs sometimes. So the pocket pairs you have to call with are like pocket pairs with a spade. Queens, jacks, tens, nines, and it might even be the case where it's like you want to have like a lower pocket pair to call with because it lets Daniil bluff. It unblocks Daniil's bluffs. So like a hand like 10-10 or jack-jack might be worse than like 9-9.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
With a spade. Yeah.
Yeah, because like this hand played pretty fast, and like on the surface it looks like okay, like maybe standard, maybe like just full standard, but to actually like break down the whole hand and go like this deep into it, that's what really fascinates me about this game, because you can start thinking about a lot of the scenarios in the hands.
Yes. So the cool thing is about spots like this is like they're so sensitive to preflop ranges as well. So by the time you get to the river, there's no way that like, okay, already on the flop, he has to fold some pocket pairs, call some, maybe not pocket pairs, but maybe he does have to fold some pocket pairs actually. But then on the turn, again, he has to fold some, call some. So he has to have the right frequency on the turn. And then again, he has to do the same thing on the river, and he has to pick the right frequency to call with. Right. So if he's overfolding like slightly, like Daniil can just blast all his ace, queen, ace, jack, ace 10, jack, queen, jack 10. He can just blast all of them, and he'll get too many folds if he doesn't pick the right frequencies to call with his pocket pairs here.
Okay.
Because he can't just like fold all of them, I would guess, in this spot.
You think Daniil also like is he known for playing like really solid and stuff? So you expect him to have all of these hands?
I don't know much about Daniil.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's new to me.
We know that he played at NL50 recently, so that makes me think he's playing with the nuts a lot, because in No Limit 50, that's kind of what it feels like. You have to play like.
Daniil, no European song. I don't know anything about Daniil though. Like, I know that he streams 10K NL while playing 50 Blitz or 50 Zoom at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he has a challenge, right, or something of sorts. So that means he's dedicated to the cause. He's following he's keeping his word. Doing the challenge.
Which one? Wait, look, last hand left table. Which hand?
I think there was a flush with Beppe Bergomi and Daniil Vasiliev on the same table as before.
Ah, okay. Did you catch this hand?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So it was raise from Daniil on the button, and then defense to the big blind from Beppe. Ace, king, 10, 3 clubs, check, check. 7 of clubs, check, check. 8 of clubs on the river, so 5 clubs. Then Beppe leads out over bets. Then Daniil re-raises.
Ah, I see. Yeah, so obviously, Pepe saying I got a flush that is a 9, Jack, or Queen. Those are the only flushes that make money here. Yeah, these spots to me are just no man's land. It's like everything is a bluff. You know, everything is like fair game bluff.
Yeah.
And then it's just having the 9, Jack, or Queen clubs. What the fuck, Neil?
Maybe that's the thought process on the river. Is like, well, if he only calls with, you know, these two specific cards, and just re-raise and still a lot there. But it sounds almost too simple, I guess. Like it would never really be that.
That could be a thing though, because like on boards like this, if he's just like if he thinks Daniil just doesn't have any flushes really, he doesn't protect his range enough, he'll just like blast every bluff, and then he could re-raise bluff kind of for free.
Yeah,
it's rakeless after all. Yeah. I don't have much insight for that end. Sometimes my insight is not as good as Ryan Risk's, I'll say that.
I mean, it's hard, right? Because like the hand for them, you know, they play it out in real time. They're thinking on every street, breaking down the ranges, and then we just have to go off of the replay, you know, without seeing the timings and anything too.
Yeah. Pepe is just robot. Well, you were there when you saw the stream yesterday with Llama talking shit, right? And Matt Marinelli. That was a great stream. Probably studied this 5 flush river spot 100 hours. Yeah, I've never ever in my life looked at a spot like this in GTO Wizard. Do you go on GTO Wizard, Todd?
Yeah.
Have you ever studied a spot like this in your life?
No. I'm kind of stuck at the flop, you know, like the pre-flop and flop. That's usually, I'm not nearly experienced enough to go deep into turn and river yet.
Yeah.
And then this is like river advanced, like what we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bepe's got some good stacks. Today it seems like he's the one with the biggest stacks on both tables. I mean, the game hasn't been running for long. Looking pretty good.
I was so happy to find out. Somebody said in my chat that Matt Marinelli apparently does not limp, and I was just like, yes, if he can not limp in the small blind in you know zero rake environment against crushers, then I can do that too. I don't have to worry about that. It's one less thing to study, you know.
You're not a fan of the limps?
No. I like to play big pot poker.
Then study Bepe and start betting only pot. He's gonna go really quick.
Daniil and Linus 4-bet pot, top right. Or right too.
Jack 3-3.
Yeah.
It's a bit more than quarter. How do they come up with these numbers?
I don't know. Let's see. It's always fun to look into these things. I don't know why. 1-5. I don't. I was about to calculate the percent, but I can't see it now.
$8.4. But
is Jack 337 considered the lead board? It looks like 1337. Wow. This is insanely good board for Daniil, I feel like.
Unless you're against Linus.
Yeah.
Hijack this one. Oh, too bad. That's like the one table that's not show.
Yeah.
I would have loved to see. I always want to see. So curious.
We got updated results. No, apparently. I guess I don't know. Do you know anything about updated results, Todd?
For today, no, I think not. They'll get shared, and we can see. Yeah, there's been some swings for sure. Like after I think it was day 2, Linus was at the top. You're like, all right, well, it's over, right? It's just gonna keep crushing. But then it kind of went down a bunch.
Yeah. So they posted something on
I see
Twitter.
it,
Twitter. I'll post you a picture.
So absolute top up is first.
You have it? Okay.
Yeah, with 159k. And we got Munez Star 120k.
Yeah.
Chris Nguyen, big comeback. Oh my god, 100k.
Yeah. It's the same one I showed yesterday, guys. So they didn't update since this, I think.
Oh, this was posted 2 minutes ago.
Oh, whoa.
On Twitter.
Whoa. Okay. Wait a minute. Let's check it out.
Remarkable.
So do you feel like you learned a new move at all watching any of these guys play?
But it actually, not one new move, but it made me think very deeply about the hands that I'm in. So like I played a bunch, like yesterday I played as well. And then now I'm really thinking harder and like, trying to really break down the ranges and maybe taking my time a little more. I think I'm also guilty of sometimes playing like too fast. What about yourself? Did it like motivate you to watch these guys play, or like did you change anything in your play? Did you have anything like me where you think like a little harder, if that even makes sense?
I kind of get the feeling that, like, even at the highest stakes, even with all these solvers around, all these, the game feeling solved in a way, but then I just get the feeling that everyone still kind of just thinks differently about the game. Like, of course, everybody's like maybe playing closer and closer to like a solid strategy overall, but yeah, I still think there's like quite a few differences in the players.
Do you think that if the stakes had been like higher, let's say like 500 and 1k, the crowd that would be playing would be entirely different? Or there would be like a lot less players than there is now?
If the what? If
the stakes were like bigger, so if it was like 500 1k blinds.
Yeah, I think a lot less players would play. But I don't know. I feel like it would be the players that would play that would be the players that already battled the ACR high stakes before this. So like Beppe, Kevin, Linus, Davey. Not too many players, I feel like. So maybe 10k is like the stake that more people will play on.
Yeah. What do you think is like a good bankroll to have if you're going to be playing in a game like this?
Me personally, if I wanted to play in a game like this, like at least $1 million to like even think about playing a game like this. But that's like taking a shot,
Yeah. Are you a conservative bankroll person?
Yeah, for sure. Because I don't want to experience what it's like to go through like a bottom X% downswing at higher stakes.
Yeah.
And like the stories I always hear it's just terrible, and it's just something I like to avoid.
So like the games that you usually play for the fast tables, what bankroll management do you recommend following for that?
I think you need a lot more with you know the BBJ, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, with the BBJ, it adds an insane amount of variance. So I would say like 100 buy-ins to play like 200 Zoom would be the minimum.
And under?
Yeah, pretty similar. I think pretty similar. 100 buy-ins, maybe like 75 buy-ins.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it depends on like so many factors, right? Like, when I remember last year, I had to get a new account for GG Poker, and I couldn't deposit more than $600. So I just deposited $600. I played 25 cents and then 50 cents within like a week. And then I made like 30 binds in a day at 50 NL or 50 cent. It's like 8 tabling Zoom.
30 binds?
Yeah.
That's sick.
So, but I was going pretty aggressive with the bankroll management strategy because I just wanted to play the higher stakes as fast as possible. So it depends what your goal is, what your win rate is, yeah, like all those things.
Okay.
Let me take a picture of the results over here. Oh, Linus came back a little bit. He can be on the come up. Just posting this.
Yeah, actually, I haven't had a bad bit jackpot in ages now. Have you had any recently? Or?
No, not like a first place PPJ.
Do you keep track of like how many hands and stuff it's been?
Yeah, sort of. I think it's been like 1.2 million hands since the last time I've hit. Yeah.
That's sick. And like it's the one thing like where I feel like it's easy to get jealous. Like you see sometimes like, you know, what streamer or whatever person that you play with regularly.
Oh yeah, I'm super jealous and toxic towards everyone now. I tell my stream all the time, like I have an official badge, you know, I have a certificate to complain now. That I haven't hit the BBJ, so you know, don't at me.
It's sick when you're playing and then you see like the name, like you see it's your stake, and then you just open it and you're praying that you're somewhere in there, like maybe as one of the guys that was at the table, but you're just not. Not fair, man. Okay, BP opens in a small blind. It looks like the action's slowing down, by the way. That's my good break. We got a 3-bet from Linus in the big blinds. 7-8-3 rainbow. BP checks.
Oh, sorry. I'll give the
Linus is gonna bet half position. Turn 4 of diamonds. It's like the most complicated positions, construct ranges, I feel like, for someone as inexperienced as me. Small blind, big blind, they just can have so much stuff. We get a check on the turn, and 5 of spades on the river. Pepe checks. E6 is a straight. It's not the show table.
No, no, it's not.
Big bets in position from Linus. What is he repping here, other than a straight?
Hmm. He could still have two pair because Beppe might not have that much 6x actually by this time. So
Okay. Unfortunately, we will never know.
mm-hmm.
Imagine if Linus would stream. Would he just break the internet?
It'd be sick.
Does Linus, does he have some interviews and stuff out? I feel like I've almost never seen him even get interviewed at all.
No, I don't think it's really his shtick. But I think like the last interview I've seen him was like at a Triton years ago. But it's a cool interview.
It's just Linus and Beppe right now having a heads up.
It was super sick to see Linus actually play live, you know, after so many years of online crushing.
Yeah.
And then when he started playing the Triton, that was really hype.
Wouldn't he be expected to play in the 500k in the Bahamas? Or you think he'd just prefer to be home and play cash online in this challenge here?
I don't know. I heard someone say that like the EV, and I asked this question before. Like, what do you guys think the EV of, you know, the VIP game is? And you know, I was in the Bena Badby Discord, and one of the I don't know who it is, but someone said, you know, he doesn't think that the VIP is even much of a consideration for these guys, nor is the Rolex watch. You know, like they're kind of just playing for fun, for the glory of the game.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel like for them, it should feel like a pure championship, right? Like no rake, a lot of hours, games active, or a lot of hours throughout the day. It's in terms of if I equate like this championship in terms of what it will be like in esports and gaming, I think a lot of people equally would be very hyped to play and participate in something like this.
Yeah.
Another pot bet on the river here.
Oh, no time bank. No time bank, Linus. Ah!
Did he time up?
No, he didn't.
Oh, Kevin's back.
I was worried that Kevin wouldn't play for a little bit at first because it seemed like he was really addicted to GG poker, so addicted that he wasn't playing the championships for a couple days.
Yeah,
but now he's back. I don't like to take too much credit for it, but you know, Kevin started where we all started, in the me and my friends started in the Navin Discord. So you know, I don't mean to brag, but you know, I think we made him who he is today. You know,
yeah, it was all you. In fact, it was really all you.
Yeah. Like,
well done, brother.
Those couple Discord posts that we exchanged, you know, 7 years ago, I think that's what made him the player he is today. You know, but I'm just, you know, just being humble about it.
In fact, I think he should be entitled to 5% of his winnings for this.
Yeah, sure. You know,
actually, I was surprised. I didn't see Kevin super high in the rankings, because I remember like a few days ago he had like an 80k stack and stuff, but it's always hard to tell exactly how much he's winning. But I guess he is winning at least. At the update that came today, or before today really began grind-wise, he was up 57k, which is 9th place in the championship. That's pretty good.
Yeah. It's a nice swing.
So I don't know like the high stakes scene super well for online personally. From what I hear, in Six Max, the very well known like legendary players and stuff like Stefan was at kind of at the top of that list or like one of those guys. But who else would you say out of all these guys was kind of expected to do well or like hyped in this format?
I'm not too knowledgeable on the high stakes scene either. Like I don't read 2+2. I don't watch the high stakes games that much, except on ACR I watched a tiny bit of the high stakes games. On GG I watched a tiny bit, but not really not much at all. Like I barely know the players. But I've maybe like I know the background of someone like Kevin Paquet,
Yeah.
or someone like well, now I know who Infant Prodigy is as well. I didn't know who that was before either. Obviously, I know Linus, and I know like Matt Marinelli. So, I've talked to them before, so I know a little bit, maybe, of where they come from, and I guess I'm biased towards like Matt Marinelli, thinking that he might be like really good.
How come?
But
Are you biased?
mainly because like years ago we were on the same coaching team
Okay.
together, and it just it's like he's very methodical and consistent, I think. But also I just don't know the other players. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but I also do know like the things that Matt does, probably, at least. I haven't talked with him deeply or anything recently, but I just the things that I think I know what he's doing is just like probably pretty crazy and hard to beat.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm biased towards that for sure.
And about this Stefan guy,
Yeah.
did you know he was like one of the super hype guys like to play in this and stuff?
Stefan was like super cool to me because I watched YouTube videos of him play Heads Up with Linus and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the way he played was just so fun to watch, and he's just like destroying people and just like absolutely disrespecting people with the hands that he's playing. So yeah, it's always really fun to watch Stefan play. And then I also read, he had like a blog that I read, and he talked about the way he thought about the game, and I thought it was like it made a lot of sense. It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I thought he could be like an insanely high potential in this game. I wish he would play a lot more.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see him back.
Unfortunate situation. Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised that, you said earlier you don't really like to play too much live or like the variants and stuff. I'm a bit surprised because I feel like if you're a good online player and you play in 200 Zoom, like you're definitely a very good online player. It does feel like live should be pretty good to you on paper because it's supposed to be softer for sure. How much softer? Yes, that's the question. But
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's different. Like you have to make adjustments and stuff, but I'm sure you're capable of that. But I have a friend, like he doesn't play much online, but obviously like he plays online to like get better. And then he's like live pro, so he goes to like Vegas for like 1 month, 2 months. And then he's doing really well. So obviously there will be other players like him that will not do as well. But I find it personally very inspiring, and I feel like it's kind of what maybe some players should aim to do is like to get better online and then go live and play in big games where they should have a bigger edge and try to do well there. So
Yeah.
I wonder how many times, like now it makes me very curious, how many times have you tried to play live and like what was your experience like exactly? Because I feel like if you would go to Vegas and play 510 for a month, like surely your EV would have to be pretty high.
Yeah. Again, I think it's just like it's just not as good as it seems because of the volume. And yeah, like like in my chat, Speed Monkey, he says you know, in order to make it worth it to play live, like you have to play way higher stakes.
Yeah.
And you have to have you also have to have way higher bankroll. And yeah, it's a different game. Like okay, so like I could even like calculate it really quick. So like I would say 10 BB. I know a lot of people are gonna say like, oh yeah, you could easily get like 30 BB per 100 at 1K and all live or something. I just disagree with that so much. So I think at 1K now maybe you get like 10, right? So 10 times 10 equals. So if you get 10 BB per 100, that's $100 per hour. And you got to remember you play 30 hands per hour. So you do that times 0.3. You get $30 per hour playing 1KNL live. If you have 10 BB per 100, which is like a good win rate, considering the rake and considering,
I think like you almost definitely underestimate the win rate and like the number you come to. Or maybe I underestimate variance or other things, or like how few hands you get an hour, because it's like a fraction, obviously, of what you play online. I don't know. I see my friend going to Vegas and doing really well, like the last few trips that he's been, and I feel like it's inspiring.
Yeah, again, I think it's just largely variance. I really do. It's I really think it's largely variance because it's not uncommon to have losing years and to be a crusher in live. That's like very common, I think. It depends how soft the games you play in, but I'm just talking about like a typical live environment, like casino, just typical casinos. And like, yeah, I think it's like super easy to have like a losing year, even though you're a really good player.
How much faster? I wonder, has anybody tried to calculate like how much faster it plays if you play like, Zoom or whatever? If you play Zoom 4 tables, is that considered to be 16 regular tables, or is there a metric for that?
Yeah, so it's like I just do it in hands per hour. So like, let's say one table of Zoom is about 200 hands an hour on average. So I play 6 tables of Zoom, so that's like 200 hands an hour, so 1,200 hands per hour. And remember, 1,200 hands per hour compared to live, which is 30. maybe even slower. Maybe even slower.
It sound like 30. Live is so bad.
Well, I think it's just nowhere near as good as people in general say.
Yeah.
And in order to make it worth it, if a 200NL online player who plays, 4 tables of Zoom, in order to make it worth it to play live, I would say they have to play at least 2KNL.
I think
10x the stakes.
510 is fine because you can buy in deeper.
Yeah, you can buy in deeper.
Usually, like very good players in Vegas, like the games that they would find will be the good games for them will be like 510 with 200 big blinds, or I'm not sure if there's many places that do more, maybe 250 or something. And those are usually the games where it can get soft. You can have like random people coming from the pit games, with a lot of money looking to gamble a little bit with some 2 cards poker or something. Yeah, I've seen some wild stuff. Because like I play 1-3 live, and then my friend who was playing 510, he said there was a guy that came to his table and that was just going blind all in every hand. And then he did it in a hand where I think it was maybe only the big blind was left, and then the guy went all in blind, and he saw that the big blind was was about to fold. And he was like, no, wait. So he showed his hand, and then the reg in the big blind looked, and he had a slightly better hand. Like maybe it was like king jack against like a jack nine or something. So he was like, oh well, I guess I have to call, and he called and he lost for like a super deep pot. And then it's like you can't even. Yeah, like you have to do like the basic rebuy too. Like, so it's like you can't even rebuy deep to battle with this guy properly. But yeah, in 1-3 you don't see that. Let me tell you, you don't see somebody sit down and just like hunt it off like crazy, like non-stop. Someone in the chat said 10 big blinds easy in live poker for a decent reg. I really feel like you can get a way higher win rate, but again, I'm not like super experienced in those games or like variants, and obviously yeah, the volume is low. Isn't 30 hands an hour a bit on the lower side?
I don't think so. Not for 9 max.
Yeah. It depends also.
I think it might be on the
tables.
high side.
If you get like a really good dealer, and like in Vegas, usually the dealers are pretty good, and then you don't somehow have like a bunch of very slow people that tank forever, I do think it can be more hands than this for sure. Oh yeah, they do bomb pots as well, 5-10. Like double board and stuff. People go crazy for those. Yeah, we're 3-handed on both tables. Kevin and Linus are battling it out in one. Ace, 6, 9. Get to see Jack 10 suited. Getting cheeky bluff through. Did you see that hand?
Was it left table, right?
Yeah, it's the show one.
Yeah.
Linus opened 2.5 on the button. Kevin defended big blind, Jack 10 suited. Ace, Ace 6. He called a small bet. Is that standard?
Let's see.
I guess if he did it, yes, I suppose.
You mean the flop call?
Yeah.
I think you're probably gonna have to call a lot of hands. So like Jack 10 might be near the bottom of that because it has the backdoor flush draw.
Okay.
And I mean the backdoor straight draw to the ace, king, queen. But yeah, you have to defend a bunch of hands in this spot, so Jack 10 might be like the lower one.
Probably I'm not gonna start doing this because I wouldn't understand the difference in the spots where you have to do it and not. That might be a problem.
I think you should. Like if you have like because it's like it's a small bet on the flop, and
So you have Jack high.
Yeah, true. But against a small bet, if you do have like backdoor outs,
yeah.
If you fold all of those, then if you put that into a solver that you folded all of those, every single similar hand like that, then you're probably folding like a crazy amount,
Yeah.
So if you force yourself to call even like a bit of an overcall, it's okay because the hand isn't over. There's still opportunities to win. You can still hit your diamond draw. You can still bluff and win the pot like Kevin did in this hand. which will happen pretty often as well too, because you got to remember their c-betting range on ace a6, right? Probably.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have a lot of trash hands that just want to like check the turn, and then you get like an easy bluff.
Is it foolish to think that people in lower stakes, probably on the c-bet, does?
I think when they go small, they probably c-bet range.
Okay.
Um,
But that's against
but
regs or against anybody?
if I was against an unknown player, I would just assume like, yeah, they probably just bet, if not range, just like very frequently. They could have like pretty much anything still.
Yeah. Kevin and Beppe in a hand together. Raise on button, big blind defense. 9. 2 hearts. Beppe will. Not a deuce. Is that a check back card?
Kevin probably likes this card a lot.
Because he's the raiser and he's the one with the stronger range and like all the pairs and stuff?
Yeah. But the thing is, Kevin has so many, like, I don't think he could just bet everything because it's just so many random hands he could use to bluff with.
Beppe leads out small on the 4 of clubs river.
I wonder if he can bet ace high like this for value.
Here's the re-raise. He's wrapping a medium to big pair, I guess.
Yeah, I would guess like threes for it.
Ay, ay, ay. 8-6 of hearts. What do you think of this play?
Yeah, I think you have to check the turn because your flush draw is shit. You don't have many good outs to beat at least in 9. And then on the river, the river could be really good with 8-6, I guess, in theory, because you don't want your opponent to have 8-8 or 6-6, which is just going to snap call.
Yeah. And then if you're Beppe, then what do you bet like this that you then have to call, like other than the 2 hands you just mentioned?
I'm just wondering if Bepe is supposed to bet ace high as for value, but maybe not. Maybe like ace jack or something. So I think he basically has to call every pair.
Really?
Yeah.
And if Kevin had like a big pair, would he check back the turn like he did?
Sometimes. But most of the time, no. And I think sometimes because Bepe still has like more deuce X probably pre-flop.
Yeah.
So he might have some incentive to check back a little bit of overpairs.
To disguise his hand or to balance with the rest of his range that's not there yet? Or both?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. It's like both to not get stacks in against a deuce all the time. And also to be able to raise the river for value sometimes. And yeah.
Then if Kevin has a deuce, it's not that often, obviously. 3 of them out there.
Yeah. What is
Would
it?
he try
Ace
to?
deuce,
Would he
king
check back
deuce.
turn?
I think yes, he has to check back turn because he has to check back turn sometimes because actually I'm not sure. It's tough because it's one of those spots where I think Pepe would have to rep a deuce sometimes, right? And if you have a deuce, your opponent can never have a deuce.
Yeah.
So the blocker to the deuce is just a really big factor, and it's 200 big blinds deep, so that makes a difference, I think, as well, right? Yeah, it is 200 big blinds deep. So if you want a if you have a situation here where actually like Beppe has an advantage in the deuce, which is the nuts, he's gonna have to rep the nuts against a range that could still have the nuts in it.
Okay.
Whereas if Kevin never has a deuce in his range, then Beppe could jam more.
And if Kevin had a big pair, like say aces or kings, and Beppe had a deuce, how would this play out? Then Kevin would bet turn and get check raised, and then he has to call and call again on river.
Yeah, it'd be something like Beppe raises sometimes on the turn versus c-bet, and then calls sometimes, and then he would check raise river sometimes. I don't know how often, but I would imagine it has to somehow split like that.
Okay.
And you know, in the spot where Kevin raised on the river, Beppe could just go jam all in. Like that probably would be the play. But then the question is, you're repping quads here. How the hell are you supposed to bluff when it's just like such a small value region?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it is like the nuts, and it is his advantage. So you have to do it. And it's so dangerous to do it without a deuce because now your opponent can just actually hold on. If you have the ace of spades in any way, does that block the deuce? Ace of spades, sorry, ace of clubs. And then what else? That's a king deuce. So the king or the ace of clubs.
Does this make you want to input some of these hands to the solver and look what comes out?
Not this one, because it's so rare. I don't really.
Yeah.
It's just a very rare spot. I wouldn't really look at this too much.
It doesn't pique your curiosity. It kind of does mine. We had another big pot, by the way.
Beppe's raising right now.
Yeah. I thought I saw one on the other table. Oh yeah, there it is. The king 10. So 8-4-3. That's on the no-show table like 3 hands ago if you want to open that.
Okay, yeah.
So Kevin, wait. He opened 3.5. Oh no, okay. Linus limps, blind versus blinds. Kevin 3.5 in the big blinds. Linus limp raises 1400. 14 big blind.
Yeah.
Kevin calls 3-4-8 rainbow. And Linus leads out half. Kevin calls 10 of diamonds on the turn. Linus bets big. Kevin calls Jack of spades on the river. And Linus checks. Kevin checks back, and Linus has king 10 off. Is that just a purely standard hand?
This is why I hate limp spots. I have no clue what the hell's going on with ranges pre-flop. But yeah, I think it's standard-ish. I'm not sure. Maybe he could have even jammed on the jack because I don't know what better hands Kevin is supposed to have. So
I gotta say, I have no knowledge of like limping ranges and stuff. Like limp raising in small blind is like completely foreign to me.
it's like in between a 3-bet and a 4-bet pot.
It's low frequency, right? If you limp raise with king 10 off.
I guess, kind of. Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. Like, I mean, it's not precisely for an L10K without rake, so maybe like it changes the range completely. But from what I see, if you limp king 10 off in small blind, you should be calling like 65%. And if you raise, it'll be 35% of the time to 14 big blinds, which is what it is. I don't think we're going to be seeing too many hands that you see it and then you input it somewhere and it's like, yeah, no, that was completely different. What should be done, I think. Oh, these guys, they're very close to theory. Would you agree?
Maybe in terms of like combos selected, but I think I've seen some weird shit.
Okay.
Already. Like on the first day, I remember there was already like 2 or 3 hands that didn't seem quite like that from Linus even, and from I think Llama.
Yeah. Well, the 7 deuce yesterday really did it.
That was a little bit far from theory, yeah.
But the sick part is that he was saying, I have you. When somebody says that, don't you think that they don't have you? Isn't it almost always like someone is like, oh, yeah, I've got you beat, you know? Like, they just almost always have a bluff there.
He was literally saying, with no delay on stream, yeah, I have a set. You know, on the flop, he's just like, oh, yes, I have a set. You know, no delay. And then on the river, he jams or something. He gets paid, and he had a set.
Yeah, but yeah, no, on the river, he was saying like, I have you. I think something like that. In the clip that I saw, he was saying like, I have you beat, pretty much.
Yeah.
Would you ever do that, like playing a game where maybe you're on voice with someone and like, you know, let's say you have to chat or like you're expected to chat and stuff, and you're trying to say something. Are you the silent person during hands or?
I mean, I can shit talk during hands and stuff.
Yeah.
There was this one time where I was playing live actually in Vegas. I think it was either 2-5 or 1-3. And then this guy was like, this guy didn't look at his cards or something, right?
Yeah.
And he open raised. And then yeah, I was just like talking to him, like, all right, fine, I won't look at my cards either. And then I didn't look at my cards either, and I re-raised him. And then he called, and then we both still didn't look at our cards. On the flop, he like raised. I re-raised him on the flop without looking at my cards. He re-raised again, and then I called. And then, you know, we're like shit talking the whole time, like who's gonna look first. And then eventually at one point, on the turn, he made another raise. I had to, and I'm like, all right, I gotta look at my cards for this. And then I looked at my cards. And then I'm like, I jam. And he's like, fuck, I have to look at my cards now too. And I'm like, yeah, you do have to look at your cards. He's like, all right, at least show me one card. And I'm like, okay, you get to pick which card, you know. And then I showed him one card, and luckily it made him fold because he had a better hand. But
So what was your reasoning the whole time? Just like he's gonna have to fold a lot because he hasn't looked at his cards the whole time, I guess?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that. I don't remember the exact hand I had, but
Yeah.
it's just fun table poker game, talking and stuff, talking shit.
How positive were you that he hadn't looked at his cards? Because imagine you get it wrong, like you're gonna run into something good here, maybe.
I mean, I was looking at him and stuff. So
What did you play in Vegas? 5-10?
I played up to like 5-10. I don't know if I even played 5-10. Maybe I just 2-5.
Any favorite places?
I didn't go anywhere else other than Caesars, really.
Oh, okay. I don't think Caesars has like too many games. It's changing a bunch these days. Like Venetian has like a brand new, like huge room in a completely different location than the previous. I think maybe Caesars even might close their.
It was back when it was WSOP.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more games running. I have no clue how they do stuff though year round. So yeah, I met Phil Galfond there, so that was the highlight of the trip.
Nice. He seems like a super nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got Linus and Kevin. A hand here, blind on blind, violence. Jack 5-7, 9 on the turn. Not exactly sure what happened, but maybe the 3-bet pot. And Kevin's gonna bet 1300 to 4.5. When people do these sizings, it really confuses me. Because it's not quite third pot. And I'm like, what do I do here? 10 of hearts on the river. 7100 in the.
4 cards straight comes in. Like both players probably have an 8, but I didn't see what happened pre-flop. Both players could have an 8.
I thought it was 3, but it might have been 4-bet pot. Didn't see what happened on the flop. And Kevin jams 0.4,000. Bit less than pot. Come on, Linus, we want to see. He calls. And 9 suited against 6s, so Linus, hero call here.
Wow, that was a low pair to call with.
Yeah.
Holy shit. What happened? All right. You have the replay?
Yeah. So it's open 3 big blinds in a small blind. Linus, Kevin 3 bets, 4 bets, 2250. And call. Flop is check, check. 9 on the turn. Linus checks. Kevin bets small. Linus calls. 10 on the river. Then Linus checks. Kevin jams with 2 pair on 4 to a straight. Linus hero calls incorrectly against 2 pairs. Like the first thing
Heroes with sixes.
First thing that comes to mind is that maybe he thinks that Kevin should mostly be doing this with a straight, which he doesn't have. Like it's only like a few combos, but of course it's not that simple, right?
I guess Kevin would have to bluff ace six suited, ace queen, ace 4-3-2 suited. I guess he has to have those. And then, but I'm just wondering, does Kevin ever bluff? Like a 7 or a 9 on this board? I guess Linus doesn't think so. So like, yeah, sixes is such a weak hand here. But I guess one of the bigs.
It's not like he jammed, right? Because like he jamming here, like if he was to bet himself, it's different, right? Because then he can get a fold from like a lot of the hands that we're talking about. But now we're literally trying to find what he beats that justifies the call. So you must think there is some pure air that Kevin might be doing this with. Ace queen.
Yeah, it's got to be like ace queen.
He has to be right like 30% of the time, I guess, with the pot odds.
Damn. I mean, he does unblock ace queen, so that's nice. But
with sixes, he blocks some of the lower draws that maybe he would be hoping to catch. Well, actually, no, he doesn't. Like it's only 5-6.
5-6, which might not even bluff. If Kevin bet 5-6 on the turn and Linus calls ace king, then he could just check river and win.
And maybe Kevin had like a couple really aggro hands against Linus and he started making him doubt in those spots also. And this is when I wish we would have like interviews of sort. But I guess also maybe he'd be reluctant to explain his thought process. Yeah. There's really no upside for like players of this caliber to explain too much.
Yeah. Poker is a very sensitive, strategic game, in that any information you give into your thought process is just very easily used against you.
Somebody said Linus can get an invite to the VIP game for spiciest bluff catch, right? I think that could be worth it.
Yeah, but I'm really starting to think the players don't care about that. I think they're here for the blood, for the glory.
Same.
Honestly, yeah. Legacy.
You know that scene in what's the movie Troy or something? Where the kid is like, I wouldn't want to fight him. You know that meme?
No, I don't.
So this guy, like a sick fighter, he has to go fight the champion from the enemy army. Then a kid comes to fetch him because he's not there yet. He's like, "Have you seen the size of him? The size of him? I wouldn't want to fight him." And that fighter, he replies, "That's why no one will remember you." So I just thought the same here. Like, yeah, we never bluff catch with sixes here. And Linus is like, yeah, that's why no one will remember you. Same thing.
True. Oh my, a 3-bet river.
Yeah, they're very deep here too.
Or a 3-bet turn, I mean.
Got a call. Mamma mia. Wait, ace-8 of hearts. Kevin with the queens. And 38K. Gonna go Kevin's way.
Shit. That's 200 beavers.
That escalated quickly. Touch.
Oh, it's a squeeze by Linus.
And 4-bet.
Yeah.
Check flop. Of clubs on the turn. Linus leads out small. Gets re-raised. And chips it.
Yeah, I mean, exploitatively, you're just hoping that Kevin Paquet is raising too much of his, random overcard bluffs on the turn here.
So like, what would they be?
It's just like random, like King Queen, King 10 offsuit, or King 10 suited, or something like that. Just all sorts of randomized overcard hands. Because I don't know if Kevin's ever folding a pair here, you know, versus a rejam. Actually, you know what? For 200 big blinds, yeah, it's still, I don't know if Kevin's ever folding like aces, kings, queens, jacks.
And the check on the flop, it's completely standard, would you say, with the bigger pairs?
Yeah, I think it's just a frequency thing.
Do you think any low limit players would have the guts to check their queens here when a king or an ace could roll down on the turn and river?
Yeah, I guess not. Not low stakes players. But yeah, so it's like a 9-6-5 board where Linus is gonna have a lot of annoying shit. And you don't want to just bet everything that's gonna have to like fold to raises. So you have to bet a more solid range, which means you got to check sometimes as well with all sorts of hands to make it balanced.
Got another big pot on that table, actually. 9K in the middle. Kevin and Linus back at it. 6-6-4 ace jack. Linus first to act on the river. Checks. Seems like Linus is struggling a bit the last few days. Went down the leaderboard a bit, and then today, yeah, he has starting stack on both tables.
He left the tables though, right? I think at one point.
Oh yeah, maybe.
He left and rejoined.
And Kevin jams. He has less than what's in the pot. Stack. gonna call.
Oh
Wow.
my god, that is.
That's filthy.
Linus has the Doom Seed. The Doom
Yeah, right
Seed
now
is
it's
switched. That's insane. He goes 20 buy-ins up on the first day, and then he's getting hands like this now.
he calls 6-7 suited in a small blind against button. 6-6-4 on the flop. And he leads out very small.
Oh, he donks? Beppe raises and then Kevin calls. What the hell?
Oh, yeah, he was 3-way, yeah. Pepe call. Oh, Pepe re-raises, Kevin calls.
Yeah.
And Linus, pretty small, or kind of on the smaller size raise, right? Not a min click. Considering there's two callers.
Yep.
And then Beppe folds, Kevin calls, turns the ace.
That is the insane turn for Kevin.
Yeah.
Because, like, oh, man.
And then Linus bets pretty big. Kevin just calls, sitting pretty with the aces. And on the river, we saw Linus check, and he thought a while before folding, so he was legit thinking about the possibility of folding here.
Yeah.
Oh, he was thinking about everything, obviously, but that would have been an impressive fold with 7 holding trips. He's probably wondering, what does Kevin show up with? That's a bluff here.
Yeah, like 5-7 suited would be the easy one. But I don't know, maybe like I don't know. Other than 5-7 suited, I don't know. Because it's multi-way, so it's so hard to tell how tight you really have to be. It could be like insanely tight. You have to be in these spots.
Yeah, like none of the medium pairs or something would call here.
Oh, on the flop, I think they would call. And then on the turn, maybe? Sometimes. But then you're not turning those into bluffs on the river, are you? So
yeah, I mean, he's not. Yeah. In this spot, you can't really think about somebody else also having trips, can you?
Sorry.
Like Linus, is he ever thinking about Kevin also having trips? But I mean, he would be outkicked anyway.
Yeah, Ocean Infinity in chat says, yeah, Ocean Infinity is a good point. The only kickers that play are King and Queen 6. So, so that means that Linus, like Kevin can jam, like, 6-7, 6-8, 6-9, 6-10. And those are all going to split.
Yeah.
So those essentially behave as bluffs for Kevin. That's also why Linus might just have to call no matter what.
That's unfortunate for Linus. Not been running too hot, it seems like, in a lot of these hands.
Yeah.
Like you flop trips, you're golden, and then suddenly, there's a full house on the river.
Yeah. I mean, the variance in this game, especially with these players, I think is insane.
It looks like they're done.
Pots. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to call it then. Been a pleasure hanging out with you, Richie.
Cool, GG's. Thank you very much for having me.
Any shout-outs?
No, don't got any right now. Just streaming on twitch.tv/RichyLucky. That's all.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Cool.
A good
GG's.
Day. Talk to you later.
You too.
GG's.
Peace.
Hey guys, it seems like they're taking a lunch break. Obviously, it's multiple time zones involved. So maybe the games will restart later tonight. Yeah, that's going to be it for me for now. Big shout out to RichyLucky. Make sure to give him a follow on Twitch. You can see his handle here on the screen. RICHI Lucky. And much love to Coin Poker for organizing the Cash Game World Championship, which is running through December, a little bit in January as well. It will conclude in January. Make sure to give them a follow on their socials. So that's CoinPoker_TV on YouTube, CoinPoker_off on X, CoinPoker on Instagram, and CoinPoker official Twitch as well. There'll be a lot of the highlights videos posted, like of the best hands. Leaderboards are up to date as well on Twitter, so just follow everywhere on socials and on streaming platforms, and much more high stakes action to come. Thank you so much, guys.